Hello and welcome to the Dressing Gown Diary. We are now fully into the Lions tour. The pre-match build-up, the pre-test build-up is now over. We've played 6 games, we've won 5, we've shown glimpses of brilliance, but we've also shown a few problems. I think if we look back over the Brumbies game, what was clear is it's effectively a Barbars back line. We had 3 players that only arrived in the squad at the weekend. All the talk about Shane Williams being called up, well, to be honest, he was just filling in. It was far easier to get him from Japan than it was any of the European-based players, or indeed players that are actually on tours all over the place. Gatland knew what he could do. He knew he could put him on the wing and he'd be solid and he wouldn't cause problems. He was unlucky not to score with his first touch. What it did show, though, is that Ben Youngs had difficulty when the pack was going backwards. Hogg, the same thing, but what can you expect with a fullback that's playing out of position? Christian Wade as well was a little bit short. I was most disappointed with the line out from Rory Best though. It was woeful. We lost a number of line outs. There didn't appear to be any leaders in the team, which is what you really need. There's also an element of we've been picked for the Tuesday game, so our chance of playing in the test match is limited. But I think a few players will be disappointed when they review the video of how they actually played. The game before was a completely different kettle of fish though. There were players really striving for their test place. I mean, the only player that really didn't play well against the New South Wales team was probably Maitland, but he didn't play badly, he just didn't play to the same level of the other players. Jamie Roberts, until he went off, was phenomenal. Jonathan Davis was in another level. And the two second rows, the 2 locks, Paul O'Connor and Wyn Jones were all over the place, making tackles, making breaks, driving forward. The Lions looked incredibly dangerous. Every time they got the ball, it looked like we were going to cross the gain line and open up the defence and create a scoring opportunity. And I think that's one of the key points that's coming out of the tour so far. Gatland's setting it up that we are going to score tries. They want go-forward ball quickly. They're prepared to take a risk. They're looking for offloads. They're playing a very expansive game at the moment. But this does create a few weaknesses. Clearly they're focusing on the blitz defence still. And what I've seen so far, and this is what Robbie Deans will be focusing on, is when the ball goes wide quite early on, there are gaps. The way the Lions line up, they line up quite narrow across the park and push up, so they're in the faces of the defence. So if you've got someone, as happened with Gray Cooper, who's able to spin the ball wide, you can open up the wide channels and go effectively flank round the blitz defence. The wings will come in tight. A good example was when the Brumbies scored their try. Hogg committed himself inside with Christian Wade, and as a result they got around the back, around the outside, and then there was some poor tackling. But it's looking to open up the Lions down those channels. So, lining up for the weekend, I mean, there's still a few injury questions. What's come out this morning, it looks like George North is fit, which is a great asset to have. He's been immense on this tour. Literally every time he gets the ball, he crosses the gain line, he's beating players, he's got soft hands as well. He will be a massive attacking threat for the Lions. What they'll also use him as is a decoy runner, because if you've got him milling around, you really don't know where to focus. You can get players off balance. I think Jonathan Davis will be fine at 12. O'Driscoll is playing out of his skin. Davis is playing out of his skin. It's a well-worked back formation. I think you'll see the back 3 from the Welsh players. Halfpenny has had a great tour so far. His kicking is second to none. I think Cuthbert, give him a chance, he will finish. Sexton's obviously at 10. Phillips at 9. The only surprise I have is I would prefer to see Faletau rather than Heaslip. But obviously the team hasn't been announced yet, so we don't know what's going to happen. So the few things that I'm worried about, I've already alluded to the width. I think that's a problem, that if the Australians tack quickly and wide, there are potential weaknesses in the Lions' defence. The second, that's been a recurring theme so far, is the line-out doesn't appear to be functioning particularly well. On our ball, against the on Tuesday, against the Brumbies, we really struggled. We lost a number of line-outs. Even when they emptied the bench and brought on some new players, Hibbard missed his target a few times. So that's something I'm quite concerned about, and I'm sure they're putting in the hard yards on the training ground now. The scrum is clearly an area of strength for the Lions, and this will depend on how the referees the game and views those contact areas. Australia won't be too upset if they give away a couple of early engages for free kicks. The referee will give it that one. What they don't want to see is the penalty. That is crucial. This is what the Lions are playing for. And against the Brumbies in the last minute, the Lions thought they're nailed on for a penalty. Get the point, get the penalty, kick the points, win the game. Thanks very much. They had a loose scrum. They didn't engage quick enough. Lost control of the ball and effectively lost the match. However, that one passage of play wasn't going to decide the match, but it did give the Lions an opportunity to win from a position perhaps when they shouldn't have done, and they'll be disappointed that they didn't have the control in that. The other area of big contest is going to be the breakdown. Now, there's always differences in the Northern Southern Hemisphere. It's really important that the pack support players with the ball and clean out quickly and cleanly. I mean, I want to see Adam Jones firing into people, knocking them out the way. Because if Mike Phillips gets there and he's got the space and time, he's going to go through gaps as well. I want to see a few pick and goes that we saw against against New South Wales. We had Paul O'Connell and Alwyn Jones going up the guts of it, making 6 or 7, 8 metres, which immediately puts them on the back foot. Well, I do hope you get the opportunity to see the game. It kicks off at 11 o'clock. We'll be providing a review on Sunday, hopefully with a Lions win. I mean, as it stands, I'm still going for a 3-0 Lions win. I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people anticipate, but just the way the Lions are played at the moment, we've got tries all over ourselves. If we can loosen up the game, play without fear, it's a Lions win 3-0. Enjoy the weekend and we'll speak soon. Thank you, bye-bye.